Welcome. One's name is Fujin, the local adeptus, and this is the tiny little teapot realm one calls home for now.
Huh? We were still in the mountains just now. How did we suddenly end up?
One invited you to come as guests, yet failed to sufficiently explain beforehand. Such behavior was careless, and one begs for your forgiveness.
Paimon's just not sure this counts as an invitation, that's all. So, do you just swoosh all visitors to Chenyu Vale in here like this?
Of course not. Many come and go from Chenyu Vale, but it was only in light of your incredible compatibility with the local spirit veins that I chose to invite the two of you, Lumine and Paimon.
You know us?
Your names were carried here by the fish that swim. I have long anticipated your visit. It is a pity that it is now not quite convenient, else I would have invited you to a tea-tasting banquet. Speaking of which, I am quite sorry, but I have a request to make of you.
We were just passing through.
Hey, don't be nervous. Isn't getting dragged into adventures while passing by kind of our thing? Shouldn't we at least listen to what she has to say?
Thank you. I presume the two of you have heard of the tea village of Chenyu Vale? Qioaying village? This land has been famous for its cool, fragrant waters since ancient times. The people are of gentle character, and the pristine pebbles in its streams are exquisite.
I hear a butt incoming.
Precisely. The waters and soil of Chenyu Vale have begun to change recently, as has the scent of its tea. Qioaying village will inevitably decline, should this persist. One hopes that you two can resolve the disharmony of the soil and water on one's behalf. The water veins are spread across the mountains, but my power is no longer sufficient, nor is the present a good time for me to move about. Thus I must rely on your kindness and aid.
We aren't exactly experts when it comes to dealing with soil and water. Is there a problem that Lumine could just solve by resorting to gratuitous violence?
Just as I heard, you are quite direct. But fret not. You are clever by nature. I trust that you shall get to the heart of any problem you might encounter.
Still not quite getting it.
Though one travels the world, if all is understood, then it would still be boring. Though I'd like to say that this matter and I... Well, let's just say that I shouldn't mislead you with superficial statements. My apologies. Well then, allow me to share some of the adeptal energy dwelling in the mortal world with you, Lumine, to aid you in traversing the landscape and piercing the fog. Oh, right. It's nice to meet you.
Huh?
I mean, welcome to this place. That is to say, welcome to Chenyu Vale.
Thanks. Though we really are just passing through.
I'm really sorry, but I was quite looking forward to meeting you face to face, and was rather hoping you two would be magnanimous enough to forgive the impropriety. Yes, now that you have been indwelt with my adeptal energy, Lumine, things will become much more convenient. Now, please try the wonders of said energy for yourself. Ah, I forgot something important. If you see a golden... Can you hear me?
Paimon doesn't think we'll get far investigating the water and soil here. Let's head to Qioaying village first, shall we? If we've time on the road, we can try the power of that Adeptus Fujin.
Oh, youngsters! Over here! Over here! Oh, finally you're here!
Is something the matter?
Oh, are you... Young lady, are you the daughter of the Feyud Commerce Guild's manager? Strange. All the rumors I heard spoke of a young master.
I am but a humble servant. The one beside me is in fact the real...
Yeah, right! Don't listen to her jokes, old man!
Oh my! So you aren't the Commerce Guild's young lady. Oh, my apologies. I was considering only your wondrously fashionable attire and your flying companion. Your conduct, too, was so unlike ours that I assumed that you must have come from Liyue Harbor to discuss matters with us. Lu, I am surnamed, and all in the village call me Grandpa Lu. Apologize I must. Recent years have not been kind. I have not even the tea to treat you two as guests. The Adepti will certainly not be satisfied with the tea ceremony this year.
Huh? Grandpa Lou, the stuff right by you? Aren't those tea leaves?
The quality is far too lacking. How could I possibly serve such things to my guests? Speaking honestly, we are waiting for someone from the Feiyun Commerce Guild, for we must discuss with them the tea leaf problem. They are our biggest customers, after all. The crux of the matter is that this batch of tea is simply unsatisfactory, whether it be in terms of taste or quantity. This is an open secret among tea merchants. Old Lo, the village chief, has also decided that no tea may be sold until the quality problem is solved. I have heard tell that the young master of the Commerce Guild is exceptionally smart and skilled. If he has caught wind that this year's tea harvest was lacking in both quality and quantity, I thought he would come in person, or if not, send someone here. So here I wait. Anyway, the problem with the tea leaves, I believe it lies with the soil.
Problem with the soil?
Indeed. I've lived here my whole life, and worked with tea since I was but a wee lad, and I can notice problems that others may miss. As I see it, and may Adeptus Fujin bless us, it must be an imbalance in our soil and water.
Adeptus Fujin?
Oh, so you've also heard the tale? That's quite rare. Even among locals, few remember. Many years ago, Qioaying village was nothing but a barren hill. Terrifying demons dwelt there, and it was all thanks to Adeptus Fujin that the demons were defeated, and tea trees were planted, allowing our ancestors to come live here. But if it's really a problem with the water and soil, then I don't know what we can do about it.
Actually, that's exactly what we've been asked to come investigate.
Oh, so does that mean you believe me, young lady?
Yes, I believe you.
Is that so? Then that makes things easy. Come, I'll bring the tea leaf samples, and let's go have a talk with old Lo.
Something wrong, Grandpa Lou?
Young ladies, if it isn't too much trouble, could you pretend you are from the Feiyun Commerce Guild when you are meeting with old Lo? Village Chief Lo is a good person, but how to put this? He puts more trust in machines, cultivation techniques, fertilizers, and things like that. I mentioned an imbalance in the soil and water before, and we parted on bad terms. But if it was the young lady of the Feiyun Commerce Guild...
I guess I'll give it a try.
Doesn't seem like a good plan to Paimon.
Don't worry. Even if he sees through it, it's nobody's idea but mine. None of the blame shall fall on you. Let's go.
Uncle Law, this batch still isn't any good. They're not fragrant enough when you dry them, and they get so dry and brittle, they can't even put them in the roller. Even the ones that survive the secondary processes come out the other end a complete disaster.
Are you sure it isn't a problem with the machine? Are you sure you haven't forgotten how to operate it?
What a thing to say. How could we dare to be careless with you looking over our shoulders?
How could you indeed? It's Grandpa Lou. Jin, get back to work. And this respectable looking young miss is...
I am the young lady of the Feiyun Commerce Guild.
Hey, who the heck calls themselves young lady?
This is my servant. It will suffice to call her Mini Pie.
Yes, that's it. Call me Mini Pie.
Oh, well, in that case, welcome. A guest like you is a rare treat indeed. We've been quite reliant on the assistance of the Commerce Guild for many a year, but as for what's happened this year, well, I suspect you already heard about it.
What's wrong? You were looking pretty miserable. Did Jin mess up at work again?
You old, mocking me again. My apologies, dear guests. Normally I would invite guests from afar to sample our new teas, but this year's batch, well, you know.
No tea? Are you seriously going to let me, the young lady...
The young lady is indeed very concerned about the tea leaves, and, is here to see if there is anything that can be done to help. So, Chief Luo, there's no need to be so tied up with formalities.
Very well then. To tell the truth, this batch of tea leaves is no good either. They can't be dried, and I can't tell if they were bad when they were picked, or it's a problem with the machine in our workshop.
How is that difficult? Why not just use some of the older leaves you have in stock and see if the product you get from drying them is any different? If the product is normal, then you'll know it isn't a problem with the machine.
Seriously, I've told you before. Forget it. As we have important guests present, then we'll give your method a try. Jin, do we have any fresh tea leaves remaining from older batches?
There's some in the warehouses. What's up?
What's up? What's up? Oh, good one. We've been talking here for a good long while now, and you weren't listening to a single word, were you? Go fetch some of the older batches and process it along with some of the newer stuff that Grandpa Lu brought using the machine. And don't you dare skip a single step. I'll be watching you.
After a bit, Jin brings back 2 batches of freshly dried tea.
How about this? I see our 2 guests are quite young. They might prefer snacks to tea tasting. Why not turn these 2 batches into tea cakes? The quality of each will be evident with a single taste. What do you think, old Luo?
Agreed. We'll do just that. Jin, listen up. Take these 2 batches of tea leaves and make them into 2 different tea cakes. 1 cake from each batch. Don't you dare get even a single leaf mixed up.
Yes, sir, Uncle Luo. You want me to mix them all into 1 cake?
Oh, I can't even.
Sorry for the long wait. We've got both tea cakes here. Let's try them one at a time, shall we?
Well, how's the taste?
The first one tasted a bit strange, but the second one was delicious.
You're seriously going to let me, the young lady, eat?
Hey, knock it off, Lumine.
I, the young lady, share Mini Pie's opinion.
The tea cakes made from the tea we had in stock taste fine. Alright, you win. So according to you, tea processing machinery is fine. In other words, the problem is with the tea itself. This new batch of tea, it's just not as good as before.
So, the water and soil.
But perhaps it's the cauldron that's the problem. It's old and in disrepair, which must have offended the Adeptus, causing the tea to deteriorate.
No, it's the soil and the water. It's the elements that nourish the soil,
Enough. Let's get that technician in charge of the tea cauldron in here first. It's the Fontanian, the one from the Fontaine Research Institute. What was it again? Name's such a pain to pronounce. Jin, go get your wood. Jin! Jin? Where did that lazy loafer abscond to this time? That brainless nitwit. I was going to have him go to Yilong Wharf and search for a technician.
Would you specifically need someone from Fontaine to fix it?
Well, whether in Liyue or Fontaine, most things powered by elemental energy work on more or less the same principles, yeah? If a Fontainian engineer can fix it, so can our thaumaturges. It just so happens that this Miss Hautemontagne likes to travel around Liyue, passes through here every so often, and loves to offer her services. So, as for this round of tea cauldron maintenance, well, let's leave it to her. So you see, honored guests, I'm really sorry, but I need to trouble you to go to Yilong Wharf and find our technician, Miss Hautemontagne. It's more likely than not she's found herself a show there that she can't tear her eyes off.
How could you possibly dare to ask our guests to do such a thing?
Old law, you misunderstand me. Our honored guest already had business to attend to at Yilong Wharf, and it would just be passing along a message on their way. It's nothing, really.
Is that so?
Huh? Is that so?
It would seem to be so.
I'm truly sorry. Then, if you would, honored guests, Old Lu, I'll leave it to you to accompany them.
Thanks for your hard work. You scared old Law so much he was jumping at his own shadow. You mentioned earlier that you're here to investigate the water and soil, right? Best you head over to Yilong Wharf then. It isn't far from the headwaters, and there are ruins left by the Adepti along the way. So if you're looking for clues, there's your best bet. As for passing a message to Hautemontagne, well, please lend a hand, would you? Give old Law some peace of mind so he doesn't worry himself to death.
For the young lady, 'tis but a trifling matter.
Hey! Why are you still acting? The show's over! And Paimon just realized, what's with Mini Pie anyway? Ugh, anyway, just leave it to us. You can rest easy, Grandpa Lou.
Such great kids you are, really great kids. Oh, right. I noticed that you two really enjoy the tea cake. Why don't I teach you the recipe? Next time you come by some quality tea leaves, you'll be able to make some for yourselves. In any case, safe travels. Be careful on mountain paths, and mind you don't slip.
A golden carp. It seems quite similar to the adeptal energy that Adeptus granted us, don't you think?
You're open!
Starfall! Drop!
Paimon, you two are indeed brilliant as expected. Upon seeing my dissipated adeptal energy, you immediately understood the situation.
Of course! We're super duper experienced adventurers, you know! Still, why didn't you say anything sooner? You didn't just forget, did ya?
About that, should not the path of the Adepti be full of challenges? 'Tis merely a test of your wisdom.
It was you who brought us here.
Speaking of which, just what's the problem with the soil and water you mentioned before? Grandpa Lou was also sure that this was behind the deteriorating quality of the tea leaves.
Yes, you two have seen Qioaying Village. Should the quality and quantity of tea leaves continue to decline, so will the village, until finally, in the years to come, it degenerates back into what it was millennia before, a desolate mountain forest.
You sure that isn't a hyperbole?
It is true. The Lord of Gia would not stand idly by as disaster befell. Were the sky to collapse, the conqueror of demons and other adepti would do their utmost to support it. Should the waters under Yilong Wharf breach the dikes and flood, Liyue Harbor would aid the villagers. But without tea, this stretch of mountains would, or Qioaying Village rather, would lose its very reason to exist in human eyes.
That makes sense. When you put it like that, Paimon understands.
So, are you two willing to help me correct the imbalance in the water and soil?
What do you say, Mini Pie?
Who the heck is Mini Pie? Never heard that name before. But Paimon wants to help Adeptus Fujin and Qioaying Village. When she thinks about such delicious tea cakes being lost forever just because there's no good tea, it would be a big shame, wouldn't it?
Yes, that's excellent. Your willingness is commendable, and one is quite grateful to you both. Now, back to business. When it comes to how to resolve disharmony in the soil and water, one is indeed well aware of what to do. First, you two must go up against the currents and seek the jade treasures thrown into the waters. In the end, we must perform the ancient rain jade rite once more, dispelling the miasma that has settled over the mountains and fields and into the rivers, and restoring the water veins and soil.
Okay, got it. But just how do we do the ritual? Adeptus Fujin? What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. As for the ritual, it's still a bit early for that. Well then, we'll see each other later.
And she's gone. According to her, we need to go against the current. That just means upstream, right? Hey, that's the same direction as Yilong Wharf! Let's go! Well, and here we are! Yilong Wharf! Let's have a little stroll!
Though I don't understand it in the least, I still think it's amazing! Just watching her stand there singing, or sing while walking around, or sing while sitting, and then sing while she lifts her hand and slowly lets it fall, all the while ceaselessly singing. I really don't know just what kind of magical powers the old lady has. Babbling, chanting, singing and reciting, reciting and crying. I haven't got a clue what she's saying, but it's amazing. Little Mal, can you understand?
That's just how opera singing is. And weren't there fight scenes later? There's that old dude who could do 88 flips and tricks. Riveting stuff!
Yeah, it's great. It's just a shame that I don't understand a thing. A whole bunch of people fighting and jumping all over the place, all super flashy and such. One-on-one, several all fighting each other, 5 or 6 taking turns. It's just almost addictive.
Hello! We're looking for a technician from Fontaine. Chief Law and Grandpa Lou said... what name did they give us again?
Hautemontagne.
Yup, sounds like Grandpa Lou sent you all right. Just call me Hautemontagne. I'm a researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute.
I am the young lady of the Feyun Commerce Guild.
All right. That's quite enough acting. Are you all right, Lumine? Yep, our young lady is... Wait, that's not right. She's Lumine and Paimon's Paimon. Anyway, it was Grandpa Lou who sent us looking for you.
Miss Lumine? Miss Paimon? Hello, I'm Little Mao, a friend of Mountain's.
Yes, that's what my name means. Hautemontagne can be a bit hard to pronounce, so I asked Little Mao to just call me that.
Really? Huh, quite the interesting pair. How did you two meet?
It was quite fortuitous. Last year I went to the mountains in the south for a spell and got lost in the fog. A huge beast the size of a Cal Etienne Louis was glaring at me, and I thought I was done for. But just then, a little kid suddenly shouted at me. I followed the sound through the mist and got out and was saved. Otherwise, I would have been eaten just like that, and my family in Fontaine wouldn't have even been able to claim compensation on my account.
I know more about what goes on in the mountains than the grown-ups.
Is that so? You're amazing, Little Mao.
We're here about the tea cauldron in Qioaying village.
Alright, got it. I'll be there in a jiffy. All the shows here are just too good. I ended up watching several, one right after the other, and now my legs have fallen asleep. But I just can't understand a word. What sorts of stories are they telling?
It's about how way back when a huge carp and a monster from the mountains fought. You kill me, I kill you story. In the end, everyone dies.
That's a pretty concise summary. But don't talk about killing and dying so much, Little Mao. If you think about that kind of stuff too often, you might become the villain when you grow up. Since those in Qioaying village are waiting on me, it's time to go. See you all later!
Let's go watch the shows here again when you're about to head back to Fontaine!
Okay, now that we've solved the puzzle, we can get back to business. Little Mao, how about you?
What are you two going to do?
Huh? To be honest, we're not quite sure how to explain it. The water and soil in Chenyu Vale are kind of out of whack, and we need to cure them for everything in Chenyu Vale to get better.
I get it! Miss Paimon's trying to say that we need to restore nature?
Hey, that's right. You're really amazing, Little Mao. You got it right away.
Restoring nature, you say? Did someone talk to you about that?
That's right! A friend who's always taking care of me told me. She wants to restore nature too. If we restore nature, everything will get better, so I would help too. She also told me about you two.
Oh, so you've seen her too?
Huh? You mean my friend? Of course! Silly Miss Paimon, how can we be friends if I've never seen her?
Oh, fair point. That makes things easier. Actually, we want to, Paimon remembers we need to find the jade treasures in the water, then do some rain jade right. But even though we've come upstream, we still haven't found any clues.
Ah, I know. Come with me. I'll show you where to look.
What? Is it really that easy?
Little Mao, your friend wants to restore nature, right?
Yeah, she's told me a lot, such as stories from before Qioaying Village became Qioaying Village, how the tea trees came to be, and more. She said that things will get worse and worse in Chenyu Vale if the natural order isn't restored.
Huh, well, it looks like we're on the same page then. Little Mao, you just said you knew where we could find leads, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it'll help, but when you mentioned jade treasures and rain jade and stuff, I just thought of it. Come with me.
Yep, let's go!
Welcome. One's name is Fujin, the local adeptus.
So, do you just swoosh all visitors to Chenyu Vale in here like this?
I am the young lady of the Feiyun Commerce Guild.
Lou, I am surnamed, and all in the village call me Grandpa Lou.
Yes, sir, Uncle Lou. You want me to mix them all into one cake?
Oh, I can't even.
After a bit, Jin brings back 2 batches of freshly dried tea.
Just call me Hautemontagne. I'm a researcher from the Fontaine Research Institute.
In the end, everyone dies.